Syria's long-term dictator Bashar al-Assad has fled the country as his regime collapsed as rebel forces liberated the country's capital, Damascus. Rebel forces entered Damascus nearly 14 years after the Arab Spring began in Syria. In just 12 days, rebels marched from the north and then the south to the heart of Damascus, capturing the capital and ending the Assad's more than 50-year tyrannical rule. In less than 2 weeks, they achieved what they could not do in 13 years of brutal civil war. Much of the world is shocked at the sudden collapse of the regime. Assad had weathered the uprising, exploiting his military might and sectarian divisions to maintain control. Hezbollah's intervention in key battles and Russia's decisive military support turned the tide in his favor. With Russia now at war in Ukraine, Hezbollah decimated, and Iran in retreat in the region, the regime had no legs to stand on when rebel forces captured Aleppo. There remains uncertainty about the future of the country as a mosaic of groups came together to overthrow the regime. The provisional period would likely see rebel factions carve up the rest of the country, with the US-backed Kurdish groups controlling the Euphrates River Valley, the Free Syrian Army holding the south, and HTS holding the northwest. There is the likelihood of a contested political process as multiple rebel factions have competing territorial and political interests. This could lead to factionalism and instability. Factions are likely to cooperate on the formation of a post-Assad government, but negotiations over the final form of the government and its post-war constitution will be slow and will be influenced by foreign actors. Amnesty International's research has found sufficient basis to conclude that Israel has committed and is continuing to commit genocide against Palestinians in the occupied Gaza Strip, the organization said in a landmark new report. In a 295-page report, Amnesty documented how, during its military offensive launched after October 7th, Israel has unleashed hell and destruction on Palestinians in Gaza brazenly, continuously, and with total impunity. Agnes Callamard, Amnesty's Secretary General, said Israeli actions include killings, causing serious bodily or mental harm, and deliberately inflicting on Palestinians in Gaza conditions of life calculated to bring about their physical destruction. Month after month, Israel has treated Palestinians in Gaza as a subhuman group, unworthy of human rights and dignity, demonstrating its intent to physically destroy them. The U.S. State Department rejected Amnesty's conclusions. State Department spokesman Vedant Patel told reporters, "We disagree with the conclusions of such a report. We have said previously and continue to find that the allegations of genocide are unfounded. U.S. officials have repeatedly denied the idea that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, since it would implicate them due to the massive amount of military aid that the U.S. has provided Israel over the past year." This report is now the latest publication calling out Israel for committing a genocide. After 12 months of war, Israel's image and credibility is rock bottom. France is in political paralysis after the Prime Minister Michel Barnier was forced to resign after a vote of no confidence in the French National Assembly. French President Emmanuel Macron was forced into a minority government after far-right Marine Le Pen's National Rally came second in the general elections in June. The French president tapped Michel Barnier, the former Brexit negotiator for the European Union, as premier in September. But when Barnier proposed a staggering 40 billion euros in cuts and 20 billion euros in tax hikes for the 2025 national budget in order to reduce the national deficit, this proved unpopular and led opposition forces to oust him and lead France into political crisis. Macron's snap election in June was meant to strengthen his position, but it's only weakened him due to a hung parliament. When Macron first ascended to the presidency in 2017, he was cheered as the man to restore normality to French politics and to save Europe from populism. His centrist, technocratic brand of politics was hailed as reaching beyond left and right, but now it's collapsing in failure. France is losing influence in Africa, and now it's got major political paralysis at home.